Hi, I'm Alan R from MotorMatters. Toyota's Hilux, yes, it's been around for a long time, and yes, it's everybody's favorite vehicle, the biggest selling vehicle in South Africa. But they updated it recently, very, very subtly as well. But this is a Raider model. Now you can tell it's the Raider version because it's got the blacked out grille, it's got blacked out bumpers over here, and a few other features like that. For example, the black alloy 17-inch wheels. These are Raider features, but what's changed and what's important about this one is that badge over there. And what's so interesting is how subtle the showing you of this new version, and it really is an important new version in the range, is yet they've been so subtle in just putting a 48V or 48 volt badge on it. Now the rest of it is pure standard Hilux. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. You've seen so many versions of the Hilux on the MotorMatters driveway in the past. Long time since I've had any bakkie with a canopy on the back. And I have a feeling that this has helped with the ride quality as well. But there are other reasons for what I think is way, way better ride quality than we've experienced on a Hilux in the past. Now, what's the 48 volt story all about? Well, it's mild hybrid technology. They've brought the Hilux into the modern era. I think maybe it's heralding the new version that's coming in a year or so's time. So they've added a small compact generator to the engine, and there's a lithium battery under the back seats, stealing no space because it's under the seats and only weighs 7.6 kilos. But it performs quite a bit of magic on the vehicle. Besides the fact that it adds 12 kilowatts and 65 newton meters of torque to the numbers, upping the game to 162 kilowatts and 565 newton meters of torque. And when you think that the GR Sport, for example, has 165 and 550, it makes interesting balancing of numbers. But it's not about outright power either. You've still got the standard 6-speed automatic gearbox, and you've got the choice of 2 or 4-wheel drive, this one being a 4-wheel drive version. All very interesting, as I said, bringing the Hilux into a more modern era maybe, with lots of benefits from small changes and small additions. Let's check it on the road and let's check out what's changed inside. All right, so now we are on the axle articulation. I've got it in 4 low. I've got the diff lock. This is a mean little course, I can tell you now. And wait, you're going to see now what this is like, because the wheels are going to drop quite drastically. I'm just letting it potter its way through. I'm not even giving any petrol at the moment. That was just the running board touching, I can tell you now. I'm not even touching the accelerator. In fact, my foot's more on the brake than on the accelerator, quite honestly. But look at this. It's actually handling it really, really well. I'm quite pleasantly surprised. The last car I brought through here was the AT35, which of course breezed its way through, but that was a completely different story. How was that? On the road, in many ways, it just feels like a good old Hilux in a lot of ways. Yes, the engine's still cold, so it is a bit of a diesel clatter going. You can hear it, but it's not disturbing in any way. It doesn't worry me at all. But what you've got, of course, is that the 48 volt system, the hybrid system, is a regenerative system. So braking obviously does help. And they say it actually improves the braking performance a bit as well. I'm going by what Toyota say. They also say that it does make the downhill assist control even more effective. And it really was effective when I took it down the gradients at Geratech. I must tell you, it really held it nicely going down that downhill gradient over there. So that again is where you can see. But what I feel, and this is very, very personal feeling, and I must say, don't take it as everything, is between that extra tiny bit of weight under the back seat and maybe the weight of the canopy, I think this one just felt smoother on the road. Toyota do say that the hybrid system again helps smooth the acceleration, smooth pull off, smooth general performance, and yes, that's noticeable as far as I'm concerned. It just felt much smoother, much more relaxed, much more comfortable in traffic too. I've got to tell you, it certainly felt nicer than I recall any other Hilux in traffic conditions, and I did drive it in a fair bit of urban traffic as well during this test. So those are features that I think this hybrid system has really helped. The power delivery just is so much smoother and easier with it kicking in with that battery system, with a hybrid system. So just overall, I think, as I said in the introduction period of this, that by bringing it into the more modern era, by bringing newer technology in, they certainly seem to have upped the game somewhat. And isn't that what it's all about? Extra bit of power, yes, but it's not just about outright power. It's about smoothness, it's about comfort, it's about overall, can I call it, living with the vehicle, and that really seems to have been upped. I think maybe this is prep for the next generation, and if these are signs of what could be coming, this could be pretty interesting. All right, so let's go downhill. We're in 4 high, got hill descent control on, but we're on quite a steep one here. And look at that, look how it holds itself. I stressed for a moment, I must be honest, but my feet are flat on the floor and it's just rolling its way down the hill at like 5-6 k's an hour. I've asked the diff lock to work and I'm going to lock her in first and give some wheelie, and let's go, 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 let's go. Revving itself up to just under 2,500 revs, and it just doesn't hesitate. How was that? We're going to do the stop halfway through to see what the pull-off is like in deep sand. So there we go, we stopped completely, gentle pull-off, and look at this, and it just absolutely, you wouldn't even think you're in sand. It's as simple as that. Really, really is that easy. Jumping in behind the wheel, of course, as we always do. Well, this is standard Hilux fare. It's really nothing special. But what you do need to look at is the number over there, of course. 9.3 litres per 100. Now, that's a really good mix of urban and open road freeway cruising that I did with the vehicle. So I think it's a very fair reflection. Toyota say 5% fuel saving. I'm not 100% sure, and it's so difficult to compare because obviously each time you test a car, your driving conditions can be varying, can be that tiny bit different. So it's difficult to say, but it's a fair figure for a vehicle of this sort. Can I call it that? And remembering it is dragging all the four-wheel drive hardware with it, the extra weight as well. You've got your standard, of course, controls on the steering wheel. I'm not going to spend much time, and your cruise control is a stalk down there. So those are things that you expect and that you're going to get. And remember, this is radar spec. Moving over to the center screen, again, standard Toyota fare. I don't have to say much more than that. You've got your info, you've got your home. They all work very standard. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I must say, I do find Toyota a little bit confusing when it comes to linking to Android Auto, but maybe that's just me. But I've shown you the 9.3 litres per 100, you know about that. And you've got a decent reverse camera as well. Important feature, important fact on the vehicle, just that you see that. You've got dual zone automatic air conditioning below over there, and you've got a single USB. Over here, you've got a stop start button, you've got the downhill ascent control, you've got your diff lock over there. Those are important ones, of course. And over here is your twist knob for 2 high, 4 low. You've seen them working when I was driving and at Geratech. Now, what's new on this model, and that's the important feature, is over here. You've got your drive mode, so you've got normal, eco, and sport, and you've got your mode select. So, for example, I'm not showing it to you now because you've got to go into 4 low, etc. to do it, but it does give you, it's a terrain response system. In other words, for mud, for sand, etc., etc. That is, as far as I'm aware, a first in Hilux. And that's a nice little feature. Gear shift, good old standard dog leg, call it what you want, shift system. Works. What's the difference? You put it in drive, you got 6 gears, you go. And it's smooth, it's comfortable, everything. old-fashioned gear handbrake, but again, nothing wrong with that, so why should I complain? Raider trim does give you full leather, for example. It gives you all the other spec you want, but it doesn't give you what Legend gives you, as in JBL sound systems and other things like that. So this is where you can make your own choices. Obviously, it is based on money. So what will a 48-volt Raider cost you? That's the crux, isn't it? Well, as we're in the 4x4 version right now, you're looking at 866,000 Rand. You could go to the 4x2 version and it's about 790,000 Rand, rounding off. So there's quite a difference for the 4x4 hardware. And I'm going to say, as I say often, think about whether you need 4x4 or you don't. You want your double cab, you want your bucky, you want raised ride height, you want things like that. But do you need and will you ever use the 4x4, which does use a bit more fuel? Maybe you could save some money overall, not just on purchase price, with the 4x2 version, which will serve you perfectly well. Think about that. But I don't have to sell you on a Hilux, do I? Never have to do that. For Motor Matters, I'm Eleanor, and I'll see you next time.